Okay, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let's hope the video is gonna be okay. Right, so why is the video not coming on? Okay, just bear with me a moment.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I think it's a camera,
Okay.
clearer camera, and I don't know why it's not.
Yeah.
It's not good stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. No, I've put it on. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I can hear you.
All right. So I guess it's protesting on the new device. Because it's a clearer camera. I don't
Uh-huh.
know why it's a clearer. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Just,
Fantastic.
yeah.
So just to let you know, I'm going to be recording this.
Okay.
However, whatever we're going to use out of this will be edited by you and agreed on whatever things that you want me to quote
Yeah.
you on. We'll be able to know
Okay.
that. All right, awesome. So Zanele, it's been a pleasure getting to meet you, to get to know you. Uh, I discovered actually when I'm Googling who is in protections, who are the people making things happen, and then before I connected with you on LinkedIn, and I've seen that you've done some amazing things in the industry. And so what we're just gonna say, tell us a little bit about you, Zanele, and your journey to becoming the manager of people in protection services in the UK.
Indeed. Thank you. What do I say? So I've been in the industry for coming up to 20 years now. And yeah, I've worked both as an insurer.
Okay.
Well, I've worked for an insurance firm, as in a protection insurer, and I've also worked as a protection broker. So I've
Okay.
seen, yeah, both sides of it. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's me. I qualification wise, I've got the diploma in regulated financial planning.
Okay.
So I'm DIP PFS. I've also got a certificate in life and pensions.
Okay.
I've got a certificate in mortgage advice. And yeah, just all the associated sort of
Oh, yeah.
financial, yeah.
So 20 years ago, what informed your decision? How did it come into the protections industry? And someone has already corrected me on that. How did it come into the insurance industry? Because at times protection is a big ambiguous words that people might not really understand too much.
Yeah.
So tell us what made you come into the industry to start protecting people?
Well, mine was a bit of an accident, really,
Okay.
which I think, the more people I talk to, the more I realize that quite a lot of us started off going in a certain direction and then ended up where we are now,
Hmm.
which is that, yeah, it was quite accidental. So I was going to be I wanted to be a cognitive psychologist. So,
Okay.
so that's where, yeah, that's where my primary qualifications and my interest lay.
Okay.
That's where I kind of studied. I'd done a graduate degree in psychology, and I
Okay.
had a postgraduate place to study forensic psychology.
That's
So I thought,
interesting.
so yeah, at that point, I thought, well, you know, while I wait, because the course was starting in September, and I thought, well, while I'm waiting, I'll go and take a temp job.
Okay.
And I did a data entry temp job, and it happened to be, you know, in a business that kind of led to all of this. And I enjoyed it, and I thought, you know, this is going well. I'll just give it a few years. I can defer and then see how things go, you know. So yeah, so that's what happened, really.
And 20 years down the line, you're still in that industry.
Yeah, I fell into it and I stayed, you know.
Do you know what? More than 90% of the people that I've spoken to,
Yeah,
that are experts in the industry, actually came into the industry accidentally.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
amazing that they've stayed, they've done amazing things and protected so many families and businesses. And you're like, what are we doing wrong for
yeah,
people not to actually make this a career choice?
yeah. So I think it is a number of different things.
Okay.
One, yeah, so one is that we don't people think insurance is boring.
Okay.
And yeah, it's not as exciting, I think, as medicine, for example.
Okay.
Medicine sounds challenging, it sounds rewarding. Um, I suppose you know you can't really compare a doctor and a nurse to an insurance broker, but we both do things that are vital. So I think what we're missing is the attraction. We're not giving people a picture of the fun side of it, or the rewarding side of it. People just see insurance as boring.
All right. So
Yeah.
one of the things I also ask is, do you think there was any barrier to you coming into the industry, especially as a woman? Because when you're going to talk about insurance brokers and mortgage brokers, an average picture comes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we know
Mm-hmm.
what picture comes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may not necessarily be a picture of you and I.
Mm-hmm.
So was there any barriers to you starting out? Was there anything, you know, like any challenges that you experienced being a woman in the industry or being in an ethnic minority in the industry?
Um, so I think for me, because I came into this industry, well, I went through all the levels. So I did all the jobs that, you know, from entry level to where I am. And I've always, I guess I've been lucky that
Okay.
I've always worked with people that reward um, hard work.
Okay.
So I've always, luckily, I mean, you hear all these experiences of people, and I think, yes, being a woman is probably harder than being a man in this industry because you have to go home to do the school run or and things like that. So, you know,
Tell me
some,
about it, Zanele.
yeah, you know, so some days you're sat there at the train station in London and you're thinking, if the train doesn't come in a minute, I'm not going to make it in time for school pickup. So there's all of those things. But I think, you know what, I've never really, I can't hand on heart say that I've experienced anything where people have made me feel like I'm different, you know. And I've always, luckily for me, worked with people that reward, it's a meritocracy. If you work hard, you'll
Yeah.
get the results because, you know, genuinely, I started out with absolutely no knowledge, no
Okay.
experience, and
Okay.
all I had was just me.
And they can
And
do spirit. That yes, I can do this.
exactly, you know, yeah. So it's that just said, look, I'm keen to learn, I'm eager to learn, I'm probably going to make mistakes, but I've always worked with people who, you know, they say, when you make a mistake, it's not because nobody leaves home in the morning and says, right, I'm
I'm
off
going to
to
make a
work
mistake
and I'm
today.
going to go and do the worst job I can. People
Yeah.
leave home, go to work and say, I'm going to give it my best. So when you make a mistake, these things happen. It's just understanding how that happened and how we can fix it. So I've been lucky enough to work with people who've allowed me to try things, who've accepted that I can get things wrong and, you know, have helped me learn from it. And yeah, so to me, it's kind of like, you know, when I look back, I think it's always on a day-to-day basis, you don't realize how far you're going until you step back one day and you
And
do a
you.
long range look at how far you've come. That's when you realize that, hang on, you know, it's been 20 years. And, you know, so for me, if there's anything that I can do for the industry is to give back the opportunities that I was given. You know,
Absolutely
there
amazing.
are plenty of people out there that don't know where to start, don't know how to get into it, and the least I can do is to show them an example of the opportunities and how far you can go, you know, if you work hard. So yeah.
Fantastic. So presently, we're talking about the book on insurance, and the reason I decided to do the book is I've seen that we need more voices of different experiences for our clients to be able to make a choice. Because I've come against so many mates, oh, insurance company don't pay, insurance is a waste of money, because there are several products in the United States that has kind of like investment aspect of it, and lots of our insurances is there's no cash value, and we're like, why am I doing this? What if I don't die? That means it's a waste of money. So many things, and I'm like, I have to keep educating and saying the same things over and over again. I'm like, you know what, let's bring all of these things together and just address these issues, because we know protection is important, insurance is important, and it's also is part of your financial plan, right? While you're building your portfolio. Some people will tell me, but I've got lots of properties, I don't need insurance. I'm like, oh my God. So when all of this keep coming, like, more people that assumed knew didn't really know as much as they thought they knew. And now having to repeat this over and over again, say, you know what, let me just put this together, speak to some other professionals in the industry, share ideas, and just bring it together and let people be able to have an idea of, okay, this is what I'm looking at, this is how to choose this is the best company for me, this is the sort of things that I can protect. So the question I want to ask is, in your present role, I know you're one of the manager with Towergate where you work. What does your day role, what does it look like, and what are your processes that helps clients to make the right decision when they are choosing their insurances?
So I had a look at I had a look at all the questions you sent, and it just number 4, 5, and 6. I think from a compliance perspective, I wouldn't be able to give any detail on those. Yeah. I can talk about, myself, the industry and things like that. But yeah, what I wouldn't be able to do is to go into the intellectual property that belongs to the company, because it doesn't belong to me.
I agree. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about you. What are some of the myths that you have come across during your line of work, and how have you been able to navigate them to help your clients?
So I think it's you touched on it when you said there is a conception that insurance doesn't pay claims.
Okay.
And I think that the reason for this is the media doesn't really help us, because an emotional story of struggle and pain and grief will sell more papers than a good news story. So if you're a journalist, you're not going to go out there and write a story about Joe Bloggs and his family who took out insurance, and when he died it paid out and everybody's happy. It is easier for you to write a story that says the insurer declined, but he's a soldier, he's been working so hard and giving back to the nation. But if he hasn't disclosed what the insurer asked him to, non-disclosure is non-disclosure regardless of, So I think it is the media could either be our friend or it could be our enemy. But the man on the street will have seen more on the media than they have from an advisor. And so that's all they know. It's the sensational stuff. But when insurance works, it works really well. And it is it's the quality of the advice for me. If you get the advice right, then the policy will perform as expected. It is that simple. What you can't do, I mean, it is one of those things that different advisor firms have different approaches. Some firms go with budget primarily, others go with quality of product, and others go with various different things. But I think, you have to look beyond. It's not so much what you pay for an insurance policy, it's what it does for you when you need to use it.
So
So I think,
focusing them on the benefits, because
yes, yes,
that's one thing that always comes across. Oh, so I'm going to be paying £100 every month. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, let's leave what you're going to pay. Let's focus on the benefit.
yeah,
Do you have £100,000 saved
mm,
anywhere if anything was
mm,
happen?
mm,
Do you have something that's going to pay you like £3,000 every month if you're unfit to work? Do you
mm-hmm,
have that? So let's
yeah,
take a percentage of that. This your premium is most of the time it's less than 1%
yeah,
of the assured sum. I'm like, so
mm,
if this is giving you this,
mm.
would
Why
it be a
wouldn't you
good
do
business if
it?
you were a
Yeah,
business person?
yeah,
Let's go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, so I think that is, for me, it is, how do we use the media to help consumers understand that, um, insurance is a good thing. And then secondly, um, how do we educate our customers as to the value of insurance as opposed to the cost?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So you've mentioned two myths about
Mm.
insurance doesn't pay, and that also people tend to focus more on what media is saying than what an advisor will say, because obviously they're a larger, you know, voice,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. And the fact that, the media is more easily accessible. Whereas, for you to find an advisor, I don't know, people go through different processes to find an advisor, and whether or not they trust the advisor is a different story
Different
as
story
well. So,
entirely.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna say, okay, who would you say are the like maybe a few mentors that really helped you
Mm.
in your journey of becoming who you are today?
So it would be both personal and professional
Yeah,
people that have
personal.
supported me. Yeah, because from a professional perspective, like I said, I've been lucky enough to work with leaders who have always said, look, I don't believe, if you make a mistake, we'll work out what happened and we'll work out how to stop it happening again. So
Yeah.
you're not going to, we're not going to immediately fire you because you've made a mistake. So you're encouraged to learn. And I've always worked with, a line manager who says, I trust you. So when somebody trusts you, it puts, a bigger
Pressure on you
responsibility. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
to
So,
deliver for them.
exactly. So, it's, you're not wanting to disappoint them. So yeah, I've worked, all of the people that I've been reporting into over the years have always been very inspirational, because it's about looking at them and thinking, well, how did he get there? What do I need to do to get there? What am I missing? And how do I plug that gap? But then also, interestingly, and this is something I spoke about at the Cover Awards, is something called reverse mentoring,
Yeah.
which I think there isn't enough of at the moment. So, we are, yes, we're not 60 years old, but we are the older generation of advisors now, and there will be young people that are coming into the industry that have fresh ideas and
Mhm.
that also understand the customer that looks like them,
Yeah,
and we could learn a lot from them as well. So,
absolutely.
I pick up a bit of that with the people that I work with, because I've got some people that have been freshly into the industry and just trying to understand, because, where we've been here for a long time, we've formed some ideas in our heads of how things work. But
Mhm.
somebody who is fresh pair of eyes will always give us a fresh perspective.
Absolutely. And I do
Mm,
agree with that.
mm,
Okay. Do
mm.
you have some favorite books that have helped you in your journey? Do you read? Are you a reader like me?
I do read, but I've recently started doing more of audiobooks.
Audiobooks. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm always on the road and always on the go. The time to actually
And you
sit down and hold a
and
book.
your car can be a university. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm currently reading a book called The Compound Effect.
Oh, good book, good
It
book,
is
good book, good book.
amazing.
Darren,
Ups,
good
Darren
book.
Hardy,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
book.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I read
yeah,
it a couple of years
yeah.
ago.
So
Amazing book.
that was recommended to me by my golf coach, and I keep saying to her that every time I go to the next chapter, I reread the previous one before I move
Just to,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, it is life changing. Honestly, it's just unbelievable. and podcasts as well, because again, being on the road, it's just
Yeah.
something to there's a podcast by Stephen Bartlett,
Stephen Buckley.
the
Okay.
youngest drug,
Yeah.
his podcasts are raw, they are real, and they're quite, there's so much in there that I've picked up that is just, regardless of who he's talking to, there's always something to take away.
To take away.
Yeah, and I think the other one is The Kindness Economy by Mary Portas,
I've
which
not read
is,
that.
Mary Portas, who used to do, she's got red hair and she's a fashion. When you see her picture, you'll know who I'm talking about, but look her
Okay.
up on the internet. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still doing the podcast, but they have got a book called The Kindness Economy. It's very much about you will get more, you will get further ahead in business, and you'll get more from your people if you lead with kindness.
Kindness.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And
Kindness
that's
is,
what leadership is all about. You
yeah,
must
yeah,
be able to,
yeah,
kind of like get people along,
yeah.
right?
Kindness is a currency.
Kindness is
If you
yes,
start
it is.
using it and everybody around you is using kindness, you will get much further. So yeah, those are life-changing for me.
Okay, okay, fantastic. So tell us what your personal philosophy is to life as a financial advisor, or are you a mother? Are you married? So
Yeah, so
let's say
I've got
how is family life
to.
and how does that impact your work?
Well, I think, as the kids get older, things get easier. But when your career is starting out and your children are young, you're juggling so much and you're trying to get
Oh,
ahead.
tell
You're
me
trying
about
to
it.
be perfect for everybody, but you can't. Something will suffer. Um, but yeah, I think for me, it's a simple philosophy. I don't know where I saw it, but when I saw it, I was like, my gosh, this is so powerful. And I've printed it off and I stick it across the top of my computer screen. And it simply says, if you think you can, or you
You
think you
can.
can't, whichever
You're
way,
both
you're
correct.
right. Yeah.
Wow.
It's the power of the mind. It's the truth that we tell ourselves, you know.
But it's
You
the
have,
truth, actually. If
yeah,
it's always the cup is half empty or the cup is half full.
yeah,
Different, and
it's
everything is like
entirely up to you
paradigms.
how you view it. Yeah. If I sit here and I say I could never climb Mount Everest, that's my
Then you wouldn't.
mindset. It'll never happen. But if I say, you know what, I can climb Mount Everest, and I will start doing the things that will get me there. And again, you put that together with the compound effect, and you're laughing, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh my goodness. All right, so tell me. So I'm your client. You just met
Mhm,
me
mhm,
and you want to consult. You want to get
mhm,
me from me being having an apathy towards insurance and
mhm.
now to saying yes. What does your process look like? How are you going to get me on board?
Um, I think the important thing about insurance is that it's not a commodity,
Mm,
and it's not, strictly speaking, it's not compulsory. Home insurance is compulsory. If you don't have
yeah.
it, your
Building
mortgage,
insurance is compulsory. You got to have it.
exactly.
No
Yeah.
mortgage it out.
Yeah. So this is very much about building the picture and helping people understand. And again, it's not about the doom and gloom and saying if you don't get it and you die, this is what will happen. It's
Mm-hmm.
about painting the picture of, what good looks like. If you have insurance, you have peace of mind. If you have insurance, it is what you have as a result of having insurance, not the stick, it's the carrot. And I think that's part of the problem as well, that
Yeah.
insurance is
Tell
very
me
much,
about that.
yeah, it is doom and gloom, and it doesn't need to be.
Okay. So how
Yeah.
would you show me
Mhm.
the carrot in it? What are the things? What are the specific words you use to make me
Mm,
see the carrot rather than the doom? Because if you're talking of life insurance, you need to
mm.
mention that anyway, we're all gonna die. And maybe
Yeah.
there's something you're doing right that we need to duplicate.
Yeah,
Tell us
and I
about
think,
that.
yeah, it's as I said, that, without going into the details of my company's
Yeah,
process, it
yeah.
is very much about building the picture for the customer, understanding what matters to them, and
Okay.
understanding, the potential impact and the benefits of having the insurance. it is, it's not an exciting subject to talk about, but it is, if people understand, yeah, it is about the reasons why. For me, it's not about how much it costs when you buy it. It's about what it does for you when you come to use it. So it's helping the customer understand that.
And that's a huge bit of it. And exactly what this education process is all about, to let them see. And at times we're sharing stories for clients that are happy to share the stories of how it's been. Okay, like there was a client of mine that during the consultation, she said, I know how important this is. When my husband passed on, he did not have anything. I'm like, oh wow. It says that it totally changed all our lifestyle, and at times I think the conversation gets easier when people have, maybe they just went to a funeral, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe a friend just died, and suddenly they see that life happens, right? But nobody,
whether we insure it or not, it's going to happen.
So. Do you understand? And to actually, so at times, like you said, the media has a big part to play, right? And also for people that have actually had good things coming to them through their insurance. Like I said, nobody is excited about talking about, oh, this is how good I am. It's when things go wrong that we get to hear about it. But when things go right, everybody shares it, or they may not even talk about it because they don't want people to know that I just came into money, right? All right. So yeah, it's been amazing seeing with you, Zanele. And I just wanted to say kudos for what you're doing. A lot of people are already, coming to the industry and seeing that, oh yeah, there are possibilities. I'm telling you, I joke with some of my advisors and say this is UK's best kept secret, the industry, because one, nobody talks to us about financial planning in school.
No.
Nobody talks to children about it, and if parents don't know that, children don't know, and then they get to hear lots of stuff and myths, more myths in the marketplace. And then when we do educate them, it's amazing. And when we actually come into the industry to be part of the educators, to help people find the right protection, the right insurance for them and plan properly, it's so rewarding financially, as mainly, like most of us in the industry are self-employed. I don't know if your role is employed role now, but for us, it's it's a business model, right? As self-employed, getting people going. So yeah, it's awesome. All right, thank you very much for your time. And
no problem at all.
I will, we'll be able to see what we can use on this. And then some of the clips we'll be able to use during the promo for the book. And then I'll let you know some of the words I'm going to be able to use from yours. And then let me stop recording now.